so we don't really need Godot for this. I'll leave it open in case I want to make any changes. But we basically have our web build and our Windows build, and we just want to put those online. So the way that we're going to do that is with itch.io. This is just one of many indie game publishing services. I'm logged in right now, but if you go to this website and you don't have an account, you can go to register, and it's free to set up. You can just create a username, password, and create an account. And it's pretty simple. So I'm gonna log back in. I remember my password. Okay, there's my password. So you can see a lot of old games that I've put up here for classes in the past. And so now we can create a new game. So when you go to itch.io and you have an account, this is what it's going to look like when you're logged in. And you can create a new project by going to the menu over here and upload new project. There's probably other ways to do it, but that's how I usually do it. So I'm going to go over here, go to upload new project, and it says I don't have payment configured, so I'm not going to configure payment. That's okay. So there's a few things I can add over here, like an image and a gameplay trailer. Those aren't necessary for the class, but you might want to add those if you want to make your itch page look cool. But anyway, I'm just going to create my template page. So I'm going to call it my game, and I'll put spring 22 because I've probably already created my game before. You can see this is the project URL. And then I can add a description. So this is example game for MMP 70, spring 2022. And then for this one, we're probably all doing games. If you wanted to publish some assets, that's something that you could do if you're interested in that. You can also publish other things. They have comics and books and stuff like that, but assume we're all publishing games. And this, we want to set this as a HTML project. So even if you have a downloadable build, we want to set this to be HTML so that people can play it in the browser if they want to. And then for the release status, we can just put in development. Okay, so for pricing, we're just going to do no payments. If you want to set up pricing, you can, but we're not going to do that right now. And now we need to upload our builds. So I'm going to go to upload files, and it's already open to my build folder. I don't know how it knew to find that, but if I wasn't there, I would just go to my MMP 270 folder, go to my game, go to the builds, and let's start with the Windows build. So I'll click open, and it's going to upload. And this is an executable, so I want to check executable and then say it's Windows so people know what it is. And then that's it. That's our Windows build. So it's 26 megabytes. That's not bad. I think like half of that is one of the songs that I put in here. So that's not really too bad. And we can change the name of the build if we want. We could call this Windows build, so it's not just windows.zip. I put a S at the. So now we're going to add our HTML. And so I'm going to go to upload files and click web. And as long as you have an index.html file and you have it compressed in a zip file format, this should work. So I'm just going to click open. And I have to tell it that this is what I want to play in the browser. So when I click, this file will be played in the browser. The other options go away. So that's everything for uploading. Now I can go to the embed option. So you can either embed it on a page or make the user go to the full screen. And what we want to do is manually set the size because we know the size of the window. If the size of the window is changeable, then you can set auto detect. But I'm going to set to manual. And I know that my game is 1024 by 512. If your game has different viewport dimensions, then you can put whatever those are in here. There's a few other things here, but I don't think our game qualifies for any of this stuff. It's not mobile friendly. Don't really want to automatically start. Don't have a full screen button. Don't want scroll bars. Okay, all the rest of the stuff we can ignore. In the details, we're going to come back here later to add a link to our user testing survey. But for now, I'm just going to put a little description. So this is my example game for MMP 270 spring 2022. This would also be a good place to put attribution to any images or sounds or other things that you used in the game. So I could go to my audio folder and find my sources text. And I can just copy and paste this in here and say, samples used. So we want to make sure to give attribution to any work that we're using that's created by other people. And then for my fonts, go to the font info and just copy and paste this. So this is a nice, this is a good reason to kind of save information as you're using it. So I'll say fonts used, and I'll just paste it right here. There's links. So, you know, if people want to learn more, they can go to the links. And then this font actually has a Creative Commons attribution. So I really should give attribution to this one. If I didn't do that, I would kind of be breaking the law in a way. Yeah, so now I've done my attributions. So then for the genre, we can put different stuff here. I can put platformer, whatever type of game you're making. And then some tags you might want to put in, like Godot engine might be a good tag to put in there. 2D if it's a 2D game, platformer, pixel art if you're using pixel art. Whatever tags, you know, it will help people understand what type of game it is. We don't have any App Store links, at least not yet. We don't need a custom noun because it is a game. And you can add instructions, but they're pretty straightforward. So, and then for community, you can add comments if you want. I'm going to turn that off just to keep the page simple. And so we're almost done. Here's the tricky part. Notice that the public option here is not available. So we actually have to view the page before we can publish it. And this happens every semester. Somebody will submit a game and they never actually published it. And so I won't be able to see it. And so usually it's fine. I just, you know, email a student and say, you forgot to publish the game, and they publish it and it's all fine. But it, you know, can lead to some, you know, not getting credit for a game that otherwise is done. So anyway, so now I click Save and View Page, and this will load up my page. And so let's test it. I'm going to run the game. And it looks like it's working. And it looks like it's working over here. Let's just test the physics scene real quick. Okay, so it looks like it's working pretty good. Okay, so that looks pretty good. I'm going to refresh it so the sound turns off. So there's a couple things that we can do here. We can go back to edit the game, which we need to do eventually to publish, but there's also some stuff we can do here. We can edit this page the way it looks. So this isn't required, but you might want to edit the page a little bit to match the game. So we can change the background color, maybe do black or maybe purple or something like that. We can change the background of the main page, maybe do something a little bit lighter. We can change the text color. So if we want to have like blue text, we can do that. We can change the link color. I don't really like the default itch red, so I usually change these colors, but you don't have to do that. Then there's some font options. The pixel font is probably a good option if you're using pixel art, or if not, that looks pretty cool. And there's some more options. And then you can add screenshots, you can add background images and stuff like that. I'm just gonna leave this as is. Or maybe we can change the embed background because that might look kind of cool. I'll go to my game, go to the UI, and add in this image back there. So that looks kind of nice. Now we see something when we open the page instead of just like a gray rectangle. So that looks pretty good. And so I'll just click save. And now we can finally publish the game. So I'll go back to edit game. And so once you've looked at it, when we scroll back down to the bottom, you can see now this public option is available. So if I click on that and then click save, I have to remember to click save, then I can go back to the page and now it's actually published. So the way you can test this is if you're logged in, you're always going to see the game. But if you go to an incognito window, so I'll go to Chrome, go to new incognito window and paste this in. I won't be logged in. So if you see the game, that means it's published. If you don't see the game, that means it is a draft. So you need to go back and publish it. Okay, so that looks pretty good. There's one, oh yeah, I think that's it actually. We're gonna do some user testing stuff in a second. But that's it for itch publishing. So it's pretty easy. Once you have this, you definitely are gonna wanna share it with the class. So you can go over to our Discord and paste it in there and we'll be able to see it. So, you know, whenever you publish it, definitely share it with the class so we can all take a look. And we'll also look at the games on the last day of class. So we'll have time to do that together. So yeah, that's it for itch publishing. So we just have one more bit. We're going to go over some user testing stuff, and then I'm going to leave this page open because we're going to add a link here. So when we share the game, there'll also be a link for people to play the game. So I'm going to stop recording and restart again.